and welcome. You're watching NewsX Deep Dive with me, Megha Sharma. Just an hour and a half, Switzerland entered 2025. A fire broke out in Switzerland's Crana, Montana, that killed several and injured many others. It is still unclear about the number of fatalities, but the Swiss police has ruled out a terror attack. This blaze ripped through a bar called La Constellation. Have a look at this video of the fire that has been circulating online. Let's understand what actually happened in those few hours right after Switzerland brought in 2026. According to the Swiss police, the fire was of undetermined origin that started at 1:30 a.m. Swiss time. The Swiss media suggested that the fire may have started when pyrotechnics were used during the concert. Take a look at this video of the New Year celebrations at La Constellation. Just to remind the viewers, it is being circulated online and it is not verified yet. Again, the officials have not revealed the exact number of fatalities as the probe is still underway. There are at least 40 people that have been reportedly died. What is certain is that more than 100 people were in the bar when the fire broke out in the bar. State Council President Matthias Reynard has speculated that around 100 are injured, most of whom are seriously hurt. Swiss daily Blink has released a video where the fire could be seen from the valley. This video is on your screens right now. The twinkling lights in the video are the 10 helicopters that were deployed at the site. 150 emergency personnel were also rushed to the site. Now, a hotline has been set up for relatives of those affected, and the state councillor has asked the population to be extremely careful not to mobilize the hospital network, as hospitals are already overloaded with victims. As of now, the area has been completely closed off and no-fly zone has been imposed over Crans, Montana. Additionally, a former visitor to the bar, La Constellation, spoke to the Swiss daily Blick and reported that the basement had only one escape and access route. It is possible that the permissible number of people was not checked there. But why was this bar so crowded? It's not only because it was New Year's time, but also because this is a bar that is a popular spot with tourists, as it is an internationally renowned ski resort. The 40-year-old bar in Crans, Montana is a luxury ski resort located in the heart of the Alps in the region of Valais. It is approximately 2 hours from the Swiss capital of Bern. In 2022-2023 season, the resort reported over 370 million skier visits. This town is home to 87 miles of trails and is popular amongst British tourists. This resort is also due to host a speed skiing event called the FIS World Cup. Let's take a look at what the bar looked like before the fire. The Constellation bar's maximum capacity is reportedly 300 people. On your screen, you can see the interiors of this resort. It has a small terrace in the upstairs segment. The ill-fated bar had arranged TV screens where people often gathered to watch football matches. On the ground floor, it was a regular bar where people would be dancing and drinking on occasions. We have already briefed you about the single entry exit situation of the basement. Reports state that La Constellation was run by a French couple from Corsica who took over the establishment in the mid-2010s. The couple also reportedly expanded into other catering and hospitality ventures in the region, with local media recently describing the bar as an up-and-coming hotspot. Following the tragedy, the bar's social media profiles on Instagram and Facebook have reportedly been blocked and taken offline. As of now, very little verified information about La Constellation remains publicly accessible online. As investigators piece together what went wrong, one thing is certain: safety measures, crowd management and emergency preparedness must never be taken for granted. This is a developing story and NewsX will keep you posted on further developments. I am being joined by Ambassador Suresh Goyal. Ambassador, such an unfortunate incident that has taken place. This is day one of the year 2026. The fact that reports are pointing to the fireworks that may have been started at the bar on the first floor that led to the fire, led to the explosion. Right now, we're getting preliminary reports that there must be around, 40 to 50 people that they may have died in this incident. A place where a lot of youth frequent. It's a popular joint, a luxury ski resort. How do you think the governments, not just in Switzerland but also neighboring Italy, that are also coming out and giving support in terms of ensuring that their hospitals are available for any sort of transfers that may have to be made if the hospitals in Switzerland are not be able to cope up with the number of casualties, numbers of fatalities and injured people that they have been handling right now. But the situation very, very volatile. How do you think the authorities need to take this forward?
Very unfortunate indeed. Fortunately, in the sense of dealing with the casualties and dealing with the dimensions, clearly Switzerland is a small country, a very low density of population. They won't have the facilities to deal with a catastrophe of this kind, where there are more. If the number of people who are dead is 50, huge number of people who are wounded or who have been impacted in the fire. So clearly they will not have the facilities. But fortunately, in the case of Europe, with the structures they have, European Union and visa-less borders for the nationals and the citizens, they would have the facilities in the other countries. Italy, you mentioned, is already on the way, and they're helping out. So Europe, by together, they will be able to really sort the problem out and help out each other. Germany is very close. France is very close. So I'm sure they will be able to handle the issues. But more important really is Switzerland is not known to have these kind of accidents or these kind of incidents where such a large casualty take place. So the serious matter really is how they could not really, with the existing measures to avoid these kind of incidents, how they could not really, or how they could have such an incident, which is surprising. And I'm sure they will basically look into the measures to prevent such kind of events in future.
Ambassador, can we make comparisons to the recent fire that happened in Goa? There a number of people lost their lives. That was a nightclub. We take a look at this, another ski resort. There were hundreds of people that had gathered to ring in the New Year celebrations. Again, questions being raised why there was only a single entry exit point. And were there precautions being taken? Were there safety measures that the ski resort had? And you said that these incidents in a place like Europe, in a place like Switzerland, are far and few in between. But the question arises, is the same question. Are the people, are the owners, is the management being careful enough in taking all measures, taking all precautions, following SOPs, and the local authorities also acting as regulators to keep a check?
I really would not want to say anything, and I'm very reluctant to make comparisons until all the facts are out. Because in the case of Goa, clearly what happened was it was negligence on part of the cafe owners not to really have any exit. So obviously, usually for these kind of places, you have measures in place for people to move out whenever there are such contingencies. But in the case of what happened in Switzerland, unless we know, or till we know what actually happened, was it because of negligence on part of the people who were there? Why did they put the fireworks there in the basement? Was it allowed or not allowed? Till we know all the facts, I don't think that we should really make any comparisons.
Do you think also the fact that if such an incident takes place in India, gets a bad rap, but if something were to take place in Europe, things are portrayed in a different fashion?
I think that is the case of the media, really. Obviously, because those kind of things, India being the developing country, uh, naturally there is a more critical eye of the world on India. Uh, but uh, it's really the media which then basically begins to play it up. I would not go into that really, but in the case of Switzerland, I remember that when these things happen in Germany, again, media is very critical. So I don't think it's a question of comparison of a developing economy and a developed country, but it's a question of really where there are greater probabilities and whether a greater incident. And also, let us face it, this kind of a negligence by the people who should have been more careful, is so much common in India. Really, we know what happens whether it is Delhi or it is Goa or it is Mumbai. The poor structures are building, uh, and slightest thing and the buildings crumble. So uh, I know for a fact that yes, there is a higher incidence of negligence in India, but let us not make comparisons between the developed economy, and therefore, if such a thing happens in India, the world is more critical. There is a large number of such incidents in India, let
Okay.
us face it.
Okay. Also, one
Yeah.
final question before I wrap this
Yeah.
up. Obviously, it was so unfortunate, this fire occurred, this explosion, and the first reaction of people on social media was that it was a quote-unquote Islamist terror attack. Now, all those speculations have been ruled out by the police, by the authorities, but that's unfortunate, keeping in mind that, there have been in the past few incidents, including the Bondi Beach incident, that have scarred people. They are scared, and at this point in time, a perception being built. Also, one could speak about Islamophobia.
There is Islamophobia. There is no doubt about that. There is Islamophobia in most of Europe, really, and therefore, when such an incident happens, the first thing would really be for people to think, "Oh, this is a case of terrorism." But fortunately, that has been ruled out in this case. The authorities think it was not terrorism. So even though there is a natural reaction or there is a natural tendency to go in a certain direction, uh, uh, in this case being the case of a negligence or a case of not the case of terrorism, let us wait. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ambassador
All right. Thank you.
Suresh Goyal. Thank you for joining us and sharing your views. On that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching.